What's up, attackers? In this video we're going to solve 10 questions that must show up on the November second module map section. If you're taking the November test, this video is for you. Make sure you do these questions. I've also put the PDF of the 10 questions that we're going to solve in this video down below this video, where you can download the questions and do them with me. Plus, for those who are taking the November December test, you can also claim a free one-on-one tutoring session down below the video. So go ahead, download the PDF, do the questions with me and claim your test, reserve that. And now without wasting time, let's do question number 1. All right, so in the first question we have a triangle ABC. The measure of angle A is 58 degrees. So we have a triangle here. I'm going to draw the triangle ABC. The measure of angle A is 58 and AC is 30. So here is 30. Triangle PQR, the measure of angle P is 58. So I'm going to draw another triangle PQR. This is PQR. P is 58. So here's 58 degrees. PR is 120. Which additional information is sufficient to prove that these triangles are similar? This is a very common question that repeats at the end of the second module. It's either asking you the similarities or the congruent. So this is a question that you must know. So let's check the choices. It says AB equals 35, PQ equals 35. Before moving to the choices, remember the similarity rules. What were the similarity rules? For triangles, we had the angle, we had side, angle, side, and we had the side, side, right? If one of these is correct, if we get one of these, then that means that we need that information, that choice is correct, right? So check the choices. AB is 35, PQ is 35. So if here's 35, here is also 35. Are these two triangles similar? So here's 30, here's 120. That is 4 times this, right? 120 is 4 times 30. So the proportion between the two triangles is 4 times 4. That means if here is 35, the side, then this side PQ should be 4 times 35, which is 140, right? So this is not correct, right? Because they should be proportional, but they're not proportional here. So choice A is out. Choice B says we have AB 35 and QR is equal to 140. So AB 35 and QR is 140. So again, now this side proportional times 4. This side should be proportional with this side, not with this side, right? And also, if these two sides are proportional, the angle is not between these two sides. So this is also out, okay? Choice C, the measure of angle B and R are 34 and 88 respectively. Let's put those angles. B is 34, B here is 34, and R is 88. Here is 88. So these are not the same angles. If here's 58, here's 34, what is going to be the measure of this angle? Let's find it out. I'm going to do 180 minus 58 minus 34. That gives us 88. So this angle is 88. And the same goes for here. If this is 58, this is 88. This angle is 34. So these triangles are going to have the same angles. So they are similar. We are based on the angle rule. These are going to be similar. So choice C is the correct answer for this question. That's how you do it. Make sure that the tricky part of this question is that you make sure that the angle between two sides is this angle that you get, like the two sides that are proportional. The angle should be between those two sides. Okay, this is always like what the college was asking us. Let's move on to question number 2. In question number 2 says the perimeter of an equilateral triangle is this. The 3 vertices of the triangle lie on a circle. Okay, so we have a equilateral triangle, right? Let's draw this equilateral triangle. All right, so let's say this is an equilateral triangle and the perimeter is this. So the perimeter of an equilateral triangle is the sum of all the sides. If we divide us by 3, it's going to give us the length of one of the sides, right? So if I do 876 divided by 3, that gives us 292. So that means each side is 292. And these 3 vertices are on a circle. So that is like this is how the question the shape looks like. And here is the radius of the circle, okay? The radius of the circle is W root 3. So this is W root 3. What is the value of W? So the only thing that we need to know here is that the radius is equal to the side of the triangle divided by root 3. That's a formula that you should know. The radius, if you have a triangle inside the circle, the radius of the circle is equal to the side of this equilateral triangle divided by root 3, right? So that means the side is 292. That's what we know. So 292 divided by root 3 should be equal to W root 3. If you multiply both sides by root 3, that's going to give us 292 divided by 292 is equal to root 3's would cancel out 3W. So that means W is equal to 292 divided by 3. That's going to be the answer for this question. It is very easy to solve if you know this formula. If you know that the radius is equal to side of the triangle divided by root 3. That's what you should know about. So make sure that before watching this video, like before watching this solution, the explanation, you do these questions yourself and then pause the video, like do the question yourself and then watch the solution. And also, if you haven't claimed your free tutoring, you can check the link is down below. You can book a free one-on-one tutoring with me or with one of our team team members where we're going to go through your score, analyze what is your weaknesses, what is the problems, and how you should study for your next SAT in case if it's November or December, and give you the tips and some resources to work on. Plus, in the free tutoring, we're going to give you some gift that I'm going to tell you at the end of this video. Now, question number 3 says the function f is defined by this, where a, b, and n are constants, and a, b, and b, and n are integers. Awesome. So we have these points. What is the value of f of 10? So this is a question that we can do using regression, because we have the function and we have the points on the function, right? So I'm going to add the table and add the points. I have 5, 7, I have 889, right? We have these 2 points in the function. We are going to do the regression y1 tilde ab to the power of x1 over n. So ab to the power of x1 over n, right? We have this graph now. We know what is ab, but we don't care about those because we're looking for the f of 10. We have the function this, right? This is the function, is passing through these 2 points. We are looking for f of 10. So the x equals 10 line, right? So I'm going to put an x equals 10 to see where does that cross the graph. Okay, this is the green line. You are looking for when does this green line cross the blue line, so we can see the f of 10 there. So I'm going to click on the line and zoom out, click on the line. Okay, we see this point, x equals 10, the y is 1701, right? 1701. So that is the answer. So f of 10 is equal to 1701, and that's how you do this question. That's the fastest way to do this question. Plug the points to the regression and add x equals 10 to see the line, so you can find f of 10. All right, so the next question is a tricky one. This question, we have a graph of f of x plus 2. Which equation defines f of x plus 2 means we move the graph of f of x 2 units up. So the graph of f of x was 2 units down, right? So the graph of f of x would be this. It's passing from here. The y-intercept is 4, so the y-intercept f is 2. So here is f of x. Now, that means when I plug 0 into the x, the y-intercept is going to be 2. So when I plug 0 to the x, it should give me 2. The tricky part of this question is here. You plug 0 here, and you say this is 1 plus 1, 2. But you don't consider this negative here, right? That's the tricky part of this question. Negative, this is like negative 6 to the power of 0. So that's going plus 1. That's going to give you negative 1. Like this is going to give you 1, but you have a negative aside. So negative 1 plus 1 gives you 0. This one, negative 6 to the power of 0 plus 3. That gives us negative 1 plus 3. It is equal to 2. So this is what we're looking for. Choice B is the answer for this question. So the tricky part, the difference between these is that if it was like this, negative 6, the whole thing to the power of x, which you would put 0 here, then it's going to be 1. But if it was like, if it is like this, which is this way, negative 6 to the power of 0, then it's going to be negative 1, because this 6 is only to the power of 0, not the negative, right? So pay attention to these details in the questions. That's how they want to trick you. And yeah, this is how we do this question. All right, so the next question is a very common one. I've seen this question multiple times in the SAT. I've taken SAT multiple times, got the perfect math scores, and this was the question that I've usually seen in the SAT a few times. So this question is asking a square map has a side length of 35 inches, right? And 1 inch on the map represents an actual distance of 13 miles. So if it is 35 inches, then it means 35 times 13 miles is going to be the actual distance, right? 35 times 13 gives us 455. So this map, this is square map. Let's say this is the distance with 35 inch. Each inch represents 13 miles. So the total that it represents is 455 miles, right? That is what the whole thing is representing. A smaller version of the same map is printed as a square with the side length of 70% shorter. So a smaller version of this is printed out with 70% shorter. So 70% shorter means it is 30% of the previous time. So if it was 35 inch, what is 30% of 35 times 0.3 is 10.5. So the shorter one, the new shorter one is 10.5 inch. So we are representing this 455 miles, the same distance, in a shorter map in 10.5 inch. And the question is asking us which of the following is closer to the actual distance in miles represented by 1 inch in this one. So we're just going to do 455 divided by 10.5, and that gives us 43.3, which is choice D. So in the smaller version, in the smaller map, each inch represents 43.3 miles. That's how we do this question. All right, question number 6 is a question that you see in the second model hard section. This question is asking us the function p is defined by this, where a, b, c are constants. In the example, in the graph of y equals px passes through the point negative 749 and this point. What is the value of p of negative 12 plus p of negative 5? This is what the question is asking us. Make sure you pause the video, try to solve this question yourself. It's very important that you download the PDF and do the questions yourself. That's how you learn it. So let's do the question together now. In this question, we can't, we have 3 constants. We can't really do this on decimals. The easiest way to do this question is by substituting the points inside. So we have this point in the function, so let's just put that in. It's going to give us a times, if I put negative 7 to x, it's going to be negative 7 plus 6, it's going to give us negative 1, right? So negative 1 squared is going to be 1. So I'm just going to put that 1 minus b times the same goes here, 1 minus c should be equal to 49. Okay, and this is basically this point that we plugged in. For this point we're going to plug 0. So if I plug 0 here, it's going to be 6 squared is going to be 36. So I'm just going to put that way, a times 36 minus b times 36 minus c should be equal to 784. Cool. Now what we're looking for is p of negative 12. So if I plug negative 12 into here, it's going to be negative 12 plus 6. It's going to be negative 6 squared. So it's going to be again 36. Interesting, right? So it's going to give us actually a times 36 minus b times 36 minus c. And so this is actually the same thing as this, right? And p of negative 5, if I plug negative 5 here, it's going to give us negative 5 plus 6 is 1. 1 squared is 1. So it's going to be 1 minus b, 1 minus c. And this thing is the same as this thing, right? So actually these points have the same values as these. So what we are looking for is p of negative 12 is actually equal to 784 and p of negative 5 is actually equal to 49. So p of negative 12 plus p of negative 5 is going to be 784 plus 49. That's it. That's how easy it is. You just plug the points and then you realize, oh, they're the same thing. You wouldn't know this if you didn't plug the points and you were just thinking, how should I do this question? How should I do this question? Sometimes you unlock the question by just doing the first 1 to 2 steps and then you see, oh, that's how you do the question. At the beginning you have no idea how to do the question. You just do some stuff. You just do the first step, the second step. You just use what is given to you. You plug them into the function and then you realize, oh, now it makes sense. This is how we do the question, right? So 784 plus 49 is 833. That is the answer. 833 for this question. All right, so this is a question that was in the last year's November test. In this question we had a given equation. K was a constant. The equation has exactly one real solution. What is the minimum possible value of 4k? That's what the question is asking us. This is a question that we can easily do on Desmos. How we will do it, I'm going to first of all write this whole thing in one side. So I'm going to do square root of k minus x minus 32 minus x equals 0. I just moved this whole thing to the other side, to the left side. 32 minus x, move to the left side. Now I'm going to plug this into Desmos, right? I'm going to do k minus x minus 32 minus x and add in a slider for the k. So this equation has exactly one real solution. So I'm going to move the k such that we get only one solution, right? So I have to increase the k. So I'm going to put the boundary, increase that, and let's move until we have one x-intercept, one solution. Okay, we still have no solution. All right, so when k equals 32, we have two solutions, one here and one here, right? So if k equals 31, we have no solution. So it's somewhere between 31 and 32. I'm gonna put 31.5, still no solution. 75, there we go. So when k equals 31.75, we have exactly one solution at here. Now this is not the answer. This is not what we are looking for. We are looking for 4 times k. This is the value of k. So we're gonna do 4 times this value, which is 127. That is the answer. Most students do this question, they find this answer, this 31.5, and they plug that, or they do 31.5 times 4. But in fact, this is the k. That is just the x-intercept, right? So the answer is 127. That's how you do this question. Make sure you get these questions, and if you miss any of these questions in this video, guys, make sure you take a screenshot, save the question, and do it a few days before your test. All right, question number 8. We have exponential function f is defined by this, where a, b are positive constants. If f of s equals 10, if f of s equals t, and f of s plus 1 equals t minus 0.8 t, where s and t are constant, what is the value of b? All right, so we have f of s equals t. That means I plug s into x. So that means a b to the power of s is equal to t. And we have s plus 1 is equal to t minus 0.8 t is basically 0.2 t. So s plus 1, f of s plus 1 means plug s plus 1 into x. So I'm going to have a times b to the power of s plus 1 equals 0.2 t. Now t is a times b to the power of s. So I can just substitute that here. So I'm gonna put, rather than this, I'm just going to put a b to the power of s. Now a's cancel out. What we can do is b to the power of s plus 1. We can write that as b to the power of s times b to the power of 1. They are the same based on the exponential rules that you've learned this in high school or elementary, whatever. You know this, 0.2 times b to the power of s. Okay, we can write it this way. Now b to the power of s and this b to the power of s is also cancel out, and what what you have left is b is equal to 0.2. Easy. Choice A is the answer. That's how we do this. I just plug whatever is given and they are automatically cancelled out each other and we got the answer. And you see how simple and easy and fast it is to find the answer. That means you are doing the right thing. All right, so we have word problem question with person that most of the students are struggling with. Let's just practice this question. Make sure you solve the question before me doing the question. This question is saying a researcher investigated two species of mice, a predator and its prey. Let's call this predator A and the prey B. At the start of a week, there was an equal number of the two species. So at the start of the week, A was equal to B, right? So at the end of the week, we also have the second phase situation where at the end of the week, the number of prey had increased by this much percent of the number of prey at the start of the week. So let's call this at the end of the week, number 2, end of the week, first of the week, number 1. So I'm going to say the number of predators at the beginning of the week is A1, at the end of the week is A2. And number of prey at the beginning of the week is B1 and at the end of the week is B2. Simple, right? So I'm going to say at the beginning of the week, start of the week, there was an equal number of two species. So A1 was equal to B1. But at the end of the week, what happened was the number of prey, B, has increased by 2,300% of the number of prey at the start of the week. So B2 was equal to this much percent more than B1. I'll just write those here. Actually, some amount of B1. Now, if something increases by 100%, it doubles. If something increases by 100%, it doubles. What I did, something increases by 100%, that means it doubles. What I did was divide this by 100, divided by 100 gives you 1, plus 1 gives you 2. So I'm going to do the same here. Divide this by 100, 23. Plus 1 is 24. So if something increases by 2,300%, it means it's getting multiplied by 24. So basically, B2 becomes 24 times B1, right? And then the question says, the number of predators had increased by 380% of the number of predators at the start of the week. So A2 is going to be equal to 380% increase. So it's going to be 3.8 plus 1, 4.8 times A1. We got the equations, right? This is what we have. The question is asking us the number of prey at the end of the week was P% greater than the number of predators at the end of the week. Okay, so you want to find the percent change between the prey B2 and predators A2 at the end of the week. That's what we want to find, right? So what we know here is B1 was equal to A1 and we have these equations. So we're going to use these to find the change. So we are looking for the difference, the percent change between prey B2 and A2, right? The way we would do it is going to be B2 minus A2 divided by A2, like the prey minus the predator divided by the predator, the previous value. Or in other words, you have this formula where you say the old minus new divided by new minus old divided by old, the same formula, right? To find the percent change, 10 times 100. So we're going to do that, okay? So I'm going to do B2 minus A2 divided by A2 times 100. What is B2? It's 24 B1. What is A2? It is 4.8 A1. 4.8 A1. And A2 is same as A2, like 4.8 A1. This is also 4.8 A1. So 4.8 A1. Now, what we have is, I'm going to rewrite this here. I'm going to use this area. 24 B1 minus 4.8 A1 divided by 4.8 A1 times 100. Now, what is this A1, A1, B1? What we can do here is that we know A1 is equal to B1, right? So I can just, rather than B1, I can also write A1 here, okay? So what we can do now is 24 A1 minus 4.8 A1. It's going to be 24 minus 4.8 is 19.2. So this is going to give us 19.2 A1. These A1s cancel out. 19.2 divided by 4.8 is 4 times 100 is 400. So the answer is 400% increase. Okay, 400% greater or 400% more. So the answer is 400. That's how we do this question. What we did was translating the words, the sentences into equations and using those equations to find the answer. The questions ask us the difference, the percent changed. So that's like new minus old divided by old. That's what we did. We just substituted with the equation that we have and solve for the equation. That's how we do this question. Now, the final question that we have is again a very, very, very common question. I've seen this question multiple times on my SAT, and it's like very repetitive question. So make sure you get this question always correct. There's like two types of question. The question says quadratic function models the height and feet of an object above the ground after the object was launched. According to the model, the object was launched from a height of 0. So imagine this, the graph. This is the object, goes from 0 and comes down. down. It reaches its maximum height at this. The height is 1936 at 11 seconds after it was launched. Based on the model, what was the height in feet after 12 seconds? So in 12 seconds, here is 12 seconds, what is going to be this height? That's what the question is asking us. This is a quadratic function, as the question says. So it is ax squared plus bx plus c. We just need to find a, b, c's. The c is the y-intercept, and we know that the y-intercept is 0. So this is already, we're just looking for a and b. What we know in this function is the vertex of the function, which is 11 and 1936. And we know that this vertex is negative b over 2a. This is something that you have to be memorized. You have to know that the vertex of the quadratic function, or the symmetry line, is negative b over 2a, right? So this negative b over 2a is equal to 11. That's the first thing. And the second thing, so let's just simplify this. It's going to give us b is equal to negative 22a. Okay, we got this. b is equal to negative 22a. The second thing that we can use is this point vertex itself. Plug this 11 into x and set it equal to 1936 because that point is on the function, right? So if I do that, it's going to give us 121a. I just plug 11 to x. 11 squared is 121a plus 11b is equal to 1936. Now we know that b is negative 22a, so I'm gonna plug that here. I'm gonna plug negative 22a here. Okay, negative 22a. So, and then we're gonna solve for basically a. So it's gonna give us 121a minus 22 times 11. What is that? 22 times 11 is 242a is equal to 1936. Okay, now to solve this, just plug this into decimals. Just do like 121x minus 242x equals 1936. This should give us the value of a, which is negative 16. So we found that a is equal to negative 16. Now plug negative 16 here, it's going to give us b. So b is equal to negative 22 times negative 16. That is, let's do this in the parentheses. Yeah, that's 352. So b is equal to 352. So we found these. So that means now we can write the whole thing, the whole graph, the whole equation, the quadratic function for this question is ax squared, so negative 16x squared plus 352x. That's the whole thing as we got them here, right? Now we can just plug 12 into x because we're looking for the height in 12 seconds and get the height out, right? So negative 16 times 12 squared plus 352 times 12. That is, let's see, plus 12. There we go. That is 1920. So the height was 1,920 feet. The answer is 1920 for this question. And it makes sense, right? It's a little bit less than 1936 when it's 12 seconds. That's how you do this question. Also, the answer keys are below this PDF. You can download the PDF below the video. And also, if you enjoyed the video, put a comment down below. Let me know if you want more November predictions. We have also part 2 coming. We're gonna solve another list of questions for the November test. And if you enjoyed the video, hit the subscribe button, and also you can claim your free tutoring session down below, where in that session we're going to share with you a diagnostic test that is going to show you all the chapters and the sub chapters that you're weak at, and also you're going to have the diagnostic test based on real SAT questions, which is not like Bullet Book, which is easier, but it is actually in the same difficulty and the level as the real SAT, so you can do those questions and practice for your SAT with the real SAT questions. Good luck with your SAT. I see you in the next video.